The last thing I remembered was lying in bed at 2 a.m., hate reading some trashy web novel about a noble family's drama. The younger Omega sister gets sold to an exclusive establishment to pay family debts while her perfect alpha sister escapes into a comfortable marriage. Typical tragic side character fodder. Then my eyes got heavy. Now I'm staring at an ornate ceiling I've never seen before, in a body that feels both familiar and foreign. Memories flood my consciousness like a broken dam. 24 years old. Omega. Sold by her family 3 days ago to the Velvet Garden, an establishment so exclusive most people don't even know it exists. A place where wealthy, powerful alpha women come to indulge their desires away from society's gendered eyes. And I'm lying in a preparation room wearing nothing but a silk robe, waiting to meet my first client. Oh fuck, I whisper, sitting up abruptly. I'm in the novel. But not as the protagonist. Not even as the interesting villainous alpha. I'm the throwaway tragic Omega character whose suffering serves as a footnote to make the alpha sister's happiness seem more earned. In the original story, this Evelyn breaks down tonight, gets sick from stress within weeks, and dies within a year, alone, used up, pitted by the sister who visits occasionally to feel better about herself. The door opens. A woman in her late 50s enters. Silver hair in an elegant twist, sharp eyes that have seen everything, wearing a burgundy evening gown that probably costs more than the original Evelyn's family made in a year. Madame Lisette, I say, the name coming from the original Evelyn's memories. She raises one perfectly sculpted eyebrow. You're calmer than I expected. Most Omegas are crying by now. I should be terrified. The original Evelyn was terrified. But I'm not her. Not really. I'm someone who knows exactly how this story is supposed to go, and I have zero intention of following that script. Crying won't change my situation, I say, standing up. The silk robe whispers against my skin. So let's talk business instead. Now both eyebrows rise. Business? You run the Velvet Garden. From what I understand, this isn't some back alley brothel. Your clients are CEOs, heiresses, politicians, artists. Alpha women with money and power who value discretion. I cross my arms, channeling every ounce of confidence I can muster despite being barely dressed. Which means you value quality. I can be quality. But I need to know exactly what's expected and what I get in return. Madame Lisette's lips curve into the first genuine smile I've seen from her. She walks to the sidebar and pours 2 glasses of wine, offering me one. You're not what I expected, Evelyn Chen. Good. I take the glass. My hand is steady. Expectations are boring. She sits in the velvet armchair, gesturing for me to take the one opposite. Very well. Business. The Velvet Garden caters to wealthy alpha women who seek Omega companionship. Sometimes for an evening, sometimes for ongoing arrangements. We provide beautiful, intelligent, discreet companions. In exchange, you receive room and board here, a clothing allowance, and a percentage of what clients pay for your time. What percentage? 30%. I laugh. Actually laugh. Madame Lisette, if I'm dealing with CEOs and heiresses, I'm not just providing a service. I'm providing an experience. 40%, and I want control over which clients I see after the first month. Her eyes glitter with something like appreciation. You think you'll be popular enough to be selective? I know I will be. It's not arrogance, it's knowledge of the plot. In the original novel, even broken and miserable, Evelyn was the most requested companion because of her delicate Omega beauty and the vulnerability that made powerful alphas want to protect her. Now imagine that same appeal, but with confidence instead of fear. Do we have a deal? She studies me for a long moment, then extends her hand. 35% and you get client choice after 2 weeks, if your ratings are excellent. I shake her hand. Deal. Now about tonight. Eleanor Ashford, CEO of Ashford Enterprises. Real estate, investments, hotels. 44. Divorced. Commands every room she enters. Madame Lisette swirls her wine. She requested someone new. Someone unspoiled by this life. She can be intense. In the original novel, Eleanor Ashford was mentioned exactly once, as a wealthy background character. But I remember that single line, Miss Ashford had particular tastes and paid well for their satisfaction. A thrill runs through me that I definitely shouldn't feel. Tell me what she likes. Confidence that doesn't cross into dominance. Someone who can hold a conversation but knows when to be quiet. Physically, she appreciates softness, femininity, responsiveness. Madame Lisette sets down her glass. She's not cruel, Evelyn. But she is exacting. She'll expect you to be attentive to her needs. And my needs? What about them? Madame Lisette laughs, a real, delighted sound. Your pleasure is part of what they're paying for, darling. The fantasy that you want them as much as they want you. Who says it'll be a fantasy? I drain my wine glass. Now help me get ready. I want to make an unforgettable first impression. An hour later, I'm standing in the crystal room wearing a white slip dress that clings to every curve of my omega body. Simple, elegant, almost innocent, but the silk leaves little to the imagination. Minimal makeup except for a deep red lip that's slightly daring. The door opens. Eleanor Ashford is taller than I expected, at least 5'10", and that's before the heels. She's wearing a charcoal gray suit tailored so perfectly it's practically artwork. Her silver blonde hair is in a sleek bob that brushes her jawline. Sharp blue eyes scan the room before landing on me with an intensity that makes my breath catch. The alpha pheromones rolling off her are subtle but unmistakable, controlled power, barely leashed. You must be Evelyn. Her voice is low, controlled, with just a hint of warmth underneath. Miss Ashford. I don't lower my eyes demurely like the original Evelyn would have. Instead, I meet her gaze steadily. Can I offer you a drink? Whiskey. Neat. I move to the bar, aware of her eyes following my every movement. I pour her drink with steady hands, then pour myself a glass of wine. When I turn back, she's sitting in one of the armchairs, watching me with that same intense focus. I hand her the whiskey, and when our fingers brush, I don't pull away immediately. Her skin is warm. Her touch confident. Something electric passes between us, alpha and omega, recognition sparking in a way that's both ancient and intimate. Thank you. She takes a sip, still watching me. Madame Lisette said you were new. I am. I sit across from her, not beside her. Not yet. Is that what you wanted? Someone new? I wanted someone who didn't see me as just another wealthy client. She leans back, and I catch a glimpse of something vulnerable beneath the powerful alpha exterior. Most of the omegas here are perfectly lovely, but they see dollar signs. I wanted authenticity. Or as close as one can get in this situation. This is my moment. Then let's not pretend this is something it's not, I say softly. You're paying for my time. Yes. But that doesn't mean we can't be honest within that time. You want to know if I'm actually interested in you, or if I'm just performing. Are you interested? I set down my wine glass and stand, moving to her chair. I lean against the arm of her chair, close enough that she could touch me easily if she wanted. Close enough that she can smell my perfume, my scent, the subtle omega pheromones that I know are driving her alpha instincts wild. You're a beautiful woman, Miss Ashford. Powerful. Intelligent. And from what I've read, you built your empire from almost nothing after your divorce. I let my fingers trace the back of her chair, not quite touching her. So yes, I'm interested in who you are. The transaction just gives me the opportunity to show it. Her hand comes to rest on my waist, tentative at first, then firmer when I don't pull away. You can call me Eleanor. Miss Ashford makes me feel ancient. You're not ancient, Eleanor. You're distinguished. There's a difference. I turn slightly, and now we're close enough that I can see the faint lines around her eyes, the way her pupils dilate when she looks at my mouth. Distinguished is sexy. Is it? Her thumb traces small circles against my hip through the thin silk. And what do you find sexy, Evelyn? Confidence, I say honestly. Power that doesn't need to prove itself. Someone who knows exactly what they want and isn't afraid to take it. And if what I want is you? My heart races, but not from fear. From anticipation. Then take me, I whisper. She kisses me like she's been waiting her whole life for this moment. Her alpha pheromones surge, wrapping around me like a warm blanket, and I feel my omega instincts respond, not with fear, but with a deep, primal satisfaction. Her hand slides into my hair, tilting my head back, and she tastes like whiskey and power and something achingly tender. Beautiful, she murmurs against my skin. You smell like summer rain and honey. I knew you'd smell incredible. Eleanor, I'm breathless, not from fear but from the sheer overwhelming presence of her. An alpha of her caliber, focusing all her attention on me, it's intoxicating. Tell me what you need, she says, pulling back just enough to look at my face. Her eyes are dark with desire, but there's genuine care in them too. This is your first time in this life. I won't rush you. This life, she doesn't know how right she is. But the fact that she's checking in, making sure I'm comfortable, it breaks something in me. The original Evelyn never had anyone care about her comfort. Not once. I need you to stop treating me like I'm breakable, I say, my voice steadier than I feel. I'm not the fragile omega you think I am. Something shifts in her expression. A challenge, met. Prove it. I do. 3 weeks have passed since that first night with Eleanor, and I'm lying in my new room at the Velvet Garden scrolling through my schedule on the tablet Madame Lisette provided. Tonight, Eleanor at 7. Tomorrow afternoon, a new client, Isabel Morrow, an artist. Tomorrow evening, Diana Zhao, heiress to the Zhao Hotel empire. I'm booked solid for the next 2 weeks. My door flies open without warning. Only one person would be rude enough to enter without knocking. Evelyn. Vanessa's voice drips with practiced concern. Oh, my poor sister. I don't get up from my bed. Just look at her with mild interest as she sweeps into my room wearing a modest designer dress that probably cost $3,000. What a surprise. How did you get in here? I told them I was your sister. That I needed to check on your well-being. She looks around my room with barely concealed shock. It's not the prison cell she was expecting. The furniture is beautiful. Original artwork on the walls. Through the open closet door, she can see the designer clothes that now fill my wardrobe. I've been so worried about you. I pray for you every night. How thoughtful. I finally sit up, and that's when she sees it, the diamond bracelet on my wrist. Eleanor gave it to me last week, casual as anything. Vanessa's eyes lock onto it. I watch her mentally calculate its worth. Is that real? The concern cracks slightly, revealing something uglier underneath. Of course it's real. I hold up my wrist, letting the diamonds catch the light. It was a gift from someone who appreciates me. Her face does something complicated, horror and envy fighting for dominance. Evelyn, you can't actually be enjoying this. What they're doing to you here, it's degrading. It's shameful. You're being used by these alpha women. I wasn't forced to do anything I didn't choose to do. I stand, walking to my vanity where more gifts are displayed. And before you start with your moral superiority, let's be clear about something. You could have helped me. You could have used your alpha husband's money to pay the family debt. But you didn't. You let them sell me because it was convenient. I couldn't, you don't understand the position I was in. Oh, I understand perfectly. I walk toward her slowly, watching her take an involuntary step back. You needed to secure your marriage. Needed to show your new in-laws that you came from a respectable family. Having an Omega sister sold to the Velvet Garden is embarrassing, yes. But having to ask your new alpha husband for money to save that sister? That might have made you look weak. So you let it happen. She stands there, mouth opening and closing like a fish. Finally, I came to tell you that I'm here if you need me. That when you're ready to leave this place. How generous. I return to my bed, picking up the tablet again. Now, I have an appointment to prepare for. You can see yourself out, Vanessa. She leaves, but I hear her hesitate at the door. When I glance up, she's staring at the bracelet again, her face a mask of conflicted emotions. Then she's gone, and I'm alone with the satisfying knowledge that I've completely shattered her narrative. That evening, Eleanor arrives at exactly 7. We've settled into a rhythm over these 3 weeks. She books me twice a week, always for the entire evening. We have dinner first, always in the private suite. She likes to talk business, decompress from her day, and I've discovered I genuinely enjoy listening to her navigate corporate politics. Tonight, though, she seems tense. Bad day? I ask as I pour her whiskey. The board is questioning my expansion plans. She accepts the glass but doesn't drink immediately. They think I'm overextending. Being too aggressive. Are you? No. She finally takes a sip. I'm being visionary. They're being scared old alphas. I settle onto the sofa beside her, close enough that our thighs touch. Tell me about the expansion. She does. For 20 minutes, she outlines her plans to acquire a struggling hotel chain and transform it. Her eyes light up when she talks about architecture and design. I ask questions, good ones, because I actually care about her answers, and watch her unwind. You're the only person who listens like this, she says suddenly, setting down her glass. Everyone else is always waiting for their turn to talk. You actually hear me. Because you're interesting. I trace a finger along her jawline. And because I like watching you get passionate about things. Her hand comes to rest on my knee. You're dangerous, Evelyn Chen. You make me forget this is transactional. You make me feel like you actually want to be here. Eleanor. I take her face in my hands. I do want to be here. Yes, you're paying for my time. But I choose how I spend that time. And I choose to spend it actually connecting with you. Those two things can both be true. She kisses me then, and it's different from our first, less tentative, more familiar. She knows what I like now, the way I respond when she threads her fingers through my hair, how I gasp when she traces her lips along my neck, the sounds I make when her alpha pheromones spike and wrap around me like a warm, possessive embrace. Afterward, she holds me close, her alpha scent surrounding me like a cocoon. I've been thinking about what we are to each other. Something more than client and companion. Something that terrifies me, because I didn't expect to feel this way about an Omega I met 3 weeks ago. Eleanor, it's not casual for me either. And I mean it. The connection I feel with Eleanor, the way she makes me feel seen and valued beyond my Omega status, it's real. She kisses me again, softer this time, and I let myself sink into the warmth of her embrace. The next afternoon, I meet Isabel Morrow in the garden room, a different suite, this one filled with plants and natural light. She's vibrant, alive, wearing a paint-stained silk blouse that probably cost a fortune she's ruined without care. Her auburn hair is a wild mass of curls. Her hazel eyes are bright with curiosity. "You're beautiful," she says immediately, no preamble. "May I sketch you?" I blink. "Now?" "Yes, now." The light is perfect. She's already pulling out a sketchbook from her bag. "Just sit naturally. Talk to me. What did you expect? Some tortured Omega soul seeking solace in a beautiful Alpha's arms?" She laughs, rich and full. "Oh, I am definitely seeking solace in your arms. But I'm also seeking inspiration. Beauty. Truth." She tilts her head, studying me. "You're not afraid here. Most Omegas in your position would be. But you're not. Should I be afraid of you?" "Probably." Her smile is playful. I tend to become obsessed with my subjects. Fair warning. Over the next 2 hours, she sketches me in different poses, different lights. We talk about art and philosophy and desire. She tells me about her ex-wife, a gallery owner who wanted her to paint commercially acceptable pieces. How she chose freedom over security. "Rather like you, I think," Isabel says, showing me the sketches. They're stunning. She's captured something in my expression I didn't know was there, a kind of fierce joy. When she finishes, she sets aside the sketchbook and moves closer, sitting on the arm of my chair. "May I kiss you, Evelyn?" "Yes." Her kiss tastes like wine and possibility. It's different from Eleanor's controlled passion. Isabel kisses like she paints, with wild, unrestrained enthusiasm. Her hands frame my face like I'm a masterpiece she's trying to memorize through touch. When she pulls back, her eyes are bright. "I want to paint you. A whole series. Will you model for me?" "That would be additional appointments. I'll pay whatever Madame Lisette requires. I'll pay double." She's already planning it in her head. "You're going to be my magnum opus, Evelyn Chen." "Then paint me," I say. Diana Zhao arrives that evening in a whirlwind of expensive perfume and designer labels. She's stunning, all long legs and perfect hair, with a kind of confidence that only comes from never hearing the word no. Her alpha presence is immediate and overwhelming. "So you're the Omega everyone's talking about," she says, circling me like I'm a sculpture she's considering purchasing. "Eleanor Ashford has booked you twice a week. Isabel Morrow apparently spent 4 hours with you this afternoon and is already requesting weekly sessions." Impressive. Thank you. I like impressive things. I like having what others want. She stops in front of me, tilting my chin up with one finger. And I always get what I want. Diana doesn't want me because she's lonely like Eleanor, or because she sees beauty like Isabel. She wants me because other powerful alphas want me, and she's competitive to her core. "Then you should know," I say, catching her wrist gently, "I don't belong to anyone. Eleanor doesn't own me. Isabel doesn't own me. And you won't own me either." Her eyes flash with something that might be anger, or might be arousal. Confident. I like that. I'm not confident. I'm honest. I release her wrist. You want me because they want me. That's fine. But if you want me to actually enjoy our time together, you'll have to give me something more than competition. Such as? Surprise me. She does. Instead of immediately moving toward the bedroom, she opens her bag and pulls out a jewelry box. Inside is a necklace, diamonds and emeralds that probably cost more than most people's houses. This was my grandmother's. She was the only person who ever told me that wanting things wasn't shameful. That ambition in an alpha woman was powerful, not ugly. She fastens it around my neck, her fingers lingering on my skin. You remind me of her. You see what you want, and you take it without apology. And just like that, Diana Zhao becomes more than just a competitive heiress. She becomes human. Thank you for sharing that with me. Don't thank me yet. Her smile turns predatory. I still intend to monopolize all your free time until Eleanor and Isabel are furious with jealousy. You're terrible. I know. She kisses me, all heat and demand. But you like it. She's not wrong. The weekend with Diana is extravagant in ways I couldn't have imagined. She takes me to her private villa outside the city. There's a helicopter involved. An actual helicopter. You're ridiculous, I tell her as we fly over the coastline. I'm wealthy, she corrects, grinning. There's a difference. The villa is stunning, all modern architecture and infinity pools, with staff who appear and disappear like ghosts. Diana has planned every detail, a private chef, a wardrobe of designer clothes in my size, activities ranging from horseback riding to wine tasting. You're trying to impress me, I observe over dinner. Is it working? The helicopter was impressive. The rest is just showing off. She laughs, delighted. You're the only Omega who talks to me like this. Everyone else is always trying to get something from me or tell me what I want to hear. What do you want to hear? That you're having a good time. That you're not just here because I'm paying you. She swirls her wine, and for the first time, I see uncertainty in her expression. That maybe you actually like me. Even just a little. Diana. I reach across the table for her hand. I like you. I like that you're competitive and bold and unapologetic about what you want. I like that you gave me your grandmother's necklace because it meant something, not just because it was expensive. And yes, I'm having a good time. But you're still going back to see Eleanor and Isabel and whoever else. Yes. She nods slowly. At least you're honest about it. That's more than most people give me. That night, she's different. Less performative, more genuine. We make love in the massive bed overlooking the ocean, and she whispers things she probably doesn't mean to say, about how lonely it is at the top, about how every friendship feels transactional. Afterward, I trace patterns on her skin. The money is part of who you are, yes. But it's not all of who you are. The woman who remembered her grandmother's words about ambition, that's who I like. The rest is just presentation. She pulls me closer, and I feel her smile against my hair. When I return to the Velvet Garden, there's a message from Isabel. She wants to start the portrait series, 5 sessions to begin with, each 4 hours long. The compensation is generous enough that Madame Lisette is practically gleeful. The first session is in Isabel's studio, a converted warehouse in the Arts District, all exposed brick and natural light. She positions me on a velvet chaise and begins mixing paints. I want to paint you as you are, she explains. Not performing. Not the version of yourself you show clients. Just Evelyn. I'm not sure I know who that is anymore. Then we'll discover her together. She begins working, Her movements practiced and sure. Tell me something true. Something you've never told anyone. I think about it while she works. Finally, I'm happier here than I've ever been in my life. Her hand pauses. Really? Really? I thought I should feel ashamed, or trapped, or degraded. That's what everyone expects. But instead, I feel powerful. In control. Like I'm finally living on my own terms. And you're not just performing that feeling? No. I'm genuinely happy. These women, Eleanor, Diana, you all want me, value my time, compensate me well for it. And I choose to enjoy it rather than resent it. Is that wrong? It's honest. Isabel sets down her brush, coming to sit on the edge of the chaise. Society tells Omegas they should be ashamed of sex work. But why? You're providing something valuable. You're being compensated fairly. You're choosing this freely. Exactly. I sit up, energized by having someone understand. I've rewritten my story. I refuse to be the tragic victim. She kisses me, paint-stained fingers cupping my face. When she pulls back, her eyes are bright with inspiration. You're my muse, Evelyn Chen. My magnum opus. I'm going to make you immortal. Over the following weeks, I settle into a rhythm. Eleanor 3 times a week, teaching me about investments and business. Diana on weekends when she can book me, showering me with extravagance and competitive affection. Isabel twice a week, painting me while we discuss philosophy and art. Catherine every Thursday evening in her secret penthouse, where she sheds her political armor and allows herself to be vulnerable. I'm juggling 4 powerful alpha women, each wanting more of my time, each offering different things. Eleanor offers mentorship and genuine connection. Diana offers excitement and material luxury. Isabel offers artistic immortality and passionate creativity. Catherine offers trust and tender vulnerability. And I'm thriving. Until the day Isabel mentions casually, I'm planning a gallery show. The Evelyn Series. 20 paintings. It'll be the biggest event of the season. My blood runs cold. Isabel, you can't. If those paintings are public, they'll be tasteful. Your face will be shown, but in ways that emphasize beauty, not exploitation. That's not the point. I sit up from my modeling pose. Eleanor, Diana, Catherine, they all value discretion. A public gallery show featuring me as your muse, it connects them to me. Catherine's entire career could be destroyed. Isabel sets down her brush, looking troubled. I hadn't thought about that. But Evelyn, this is my best work. These paintings are extraordinary. They deserve to be seen. Then show them privately. Sell them to collectors who will keep them private. But not a public gallery show. You're asking me to hide my masterpiece. I'm asking you to protect the people I care about. I stand, wrapping myself in a silk robe. Including yourself. If these paintings become public, I become notorious instead of exclusive. My value at the Velvet Garden, my partnership opportunity, everything I've built falls apart. She pulls away, conflicted. I need to think about this. The show is in 3 weeks. Isabel. Think fast. That weekend, I meet with Madame Lisette to renegotiate my contract. Armed with Eleanor's advice, I push for 25% ownership, clear operating agreements, and specific terms about my autonomy. You've learned well, Madame Lisette says, reviewing my proposed terms. Eleanor's influence, I assume. She taught me not to undervalue what I bring to the table. Very well, 25%, but with performance benchmarks. If revenue increases by 30% in the first year, you get an additional 5%. Deal. We shake on it, and just like that, I become a business owner. A partner. Not just a companion, but someone with real power and stake in the Velvet Garden's future. That evening, I celebrate with all 4 of my clients, separately, of course. I tell Eleanor about the successful negotiation, and she takes me to dinner at an exclusive restaurant. I tell Diana, and she buys me a ridiculously expensive watch. I tell Catherine, and she gives me advice on managing public perception. I tell Isabel, and she adds a detail to the painting she's working on, a subtle crown woven into my hair. 4 powerful alpha women, each offering different forms of support, each competing for my attention, each obsessed with me in their own way. And I'm managing them all, keeping them balanced, keeping them satisfied. For now. The invitation arrives on heavy cream cardstock, * the Meridian Foundation Annual Gala. Black tie. This Saturday evening, *. The city's most elite social event of the season. I stare at it, my blood running cold. Catherine will be there, she's on the foundation's board and giving a speech. Eleanor will be there, her foundation is co-sponsoring. Diana will be there, her family's company is co-sponsoring too. And I'll be there as part of the serving staff. Madame Lizette has a contract to provide elegant hostesses for the cocktail hour. 4 powerful alpha women. All in the same room. All pretending not to know each other. All potentially explosive. I call Madame Lizette. We have a problem. Saturday evening arrives. I'm dressed in the standard uniform, elegant black dress, hair pulled back, minimal jewelry. I look beautiful but anonymous. The Meridian Grand Ballroom is breathtaking. I take my position at the cocktail station, preparing to serve drinks with a pleasant, forgettable smile. Catherine arrives first. I see her across the room, surrounded by other politicians and donors, wearing a stunning navy gown. She's in full politician mode, warm handshakes, calculated smiles. Our eyes meet for just a fraction of a second. I see the recognition, the flash of panic. Then her expression smooths into polite blankness. Good. She understands the game. Then Eleanor enters. She's wearing a charcoal gray gown, her silver blonde hair styled in elegant waves. She doesn't see me yet. I turn slightly, keeping my face angled away. Diana arrives in red, of course she does, and positions herself near the bar where I'm stationed. She looks directly at me with barely concealed amusement. Could I get a glass of champagne? Her tone is carefully neutral, but her eyes are dancing. Of course, ma'am. I keep my voice professional. When I hand her the glass, our fingers brush deliberately. You look lovely this evening. Black suits you. Thank you, ma'am. Enjoy your evening. I turn to the next guest, dismissing her politely. She walks away, and I can feel her smirking. This is a game to Diana. The evening progresses with agonizing tension. I serve drinks. I smile politely. I blend into the background. And I pray that nothing goes wrong. Then disaster strikes. I'm refilling champagne glasses when I hear Eleanor's voice nearby. Catherine, I didn't realize you'd be here this evening. I turn slightly, keeping my face down, and see Eleanor approaching Catherine with a professional smile. They know each other, of course they do. The same elite circles. Eleanor, wonderful to see you. Catherine shakes her hand warmly. I heard about Ashford's new development project. Ambitious, as always. We do our best. Your speech was excellent, by the way. They're making polite conversation, 2 powerful alphas in their element. Nothing unusual. Until Diana joins them. Eleanor Ashford and Catherine Villeneuve together at last. Diana's voice has that edge of competitive amusement. I'm Diana Zhao. We met briefly at the Chamber of Commerce Gala last year. Of course. Ms. Zhao. Your family's hotels are impressive. Please, call me Diana. We're all friends here, aren't we? Diana's smile is sharp. Though I have to say, Eleanor, you've been monopolizing some very interesting resources lately. My blood runs cold. Resources? Eleanor's tone is carefully neutral, but I can see the tension in her shoulders. Business opportunities? Investment prospects? You know how it is in our circles. Diana takes a sip of champagne, her eyes glittering. Oh, I'm always willing to invest in quality. Especially when I see something I want. Wanting and having are different things, Catherine interjects smoothly. Particularly in our positions. We must always consider the broader implications of our acquisitions. They're talking about me. Right there in the middle of a gala, surrounded by hundreds of people. Having a veiled conversation about who has claim to my time. And I can't do anything but serve drinks and pretend I don't hear it. The breaking point comes when Eleanor's hand brushes mine as she takes a glass. It's accidental, just a brief touch of fingers. But the contact makes her freeze. She actually looks at me, really looks at me, and I see the moment her professional facade cracks. Excuse me, she says to the others, her voice strained. I need some air. She walks away quickly, heading toward the terrace doors. Diana watches her go, then looks at me with raised eyebrows. Catherine is pale. I have to fix this. I catch the eye of another server and gesture toward my station, then slip away through the service entrance. Eleanor is on the terrace, gripping the railing, her breath coming in sharp bursts. She doesn't turn when I approach. I knew you were seeing other people, she says quietly. Logically, intellectually, I knew. But seeing Diana claim you like that, seeing Catherine position herself as some kind of protector, watching all of us circle you like your territory to be conquered? She finally turns, and her eyes are bright with unshed tears. I can't do this, Evelyn. I can't watch other alphas touch she stops herself. What you want? I ask softly. What I love. The words come out broken. God help me, I love you. Not just as a client. I love you. And it's destroying me to share you. My heart clenches. Eleanor. Don't tell me you can't give me exclusivity. I know. I've known from the beginning. She wipes at her eyes angrily. But knowing and accepting are different things. Watching Diana flaunt her access to you, it's unbearable. Then what do you want me to do? I move closer, taking her hands. Tell me what you need. I need you to be mine. Only mine. I need Diana's helicopters and Isabel's paintings and Catherine's secret Thursdays to stop existing. She pulls me close, desperate. I need something I can't have. And I don't know how to reconcile that. I should comfort her. Should tell her what she needs to hear. But Eleanor taught me to value honesty above everything else. I can't be only yours, I say quietly. But Eleanor, what we have, the way you've helped me grow, the way I feel when I'm with you, that's real. It's not diminished by the existence of others. It's separate. It's ours. Is it? Or am I just one of 4 alphas paying for the illusion of connection? If it were just an illusion, would it hurt this much? I cup her face. Would I be out here risking my job to comfort you? She kisses me then, desperate, claiming. And I kiss her back, pouring every genuine feeling I have into it. We break apart at the sound of the terrace door opening. Diana stands there, backlit by the ballroom lights. Well, this is illuminating. Eleanor stiffens. Diana. So this is why you've been unavailable for that foundation collaboration. Too busy with personal investments. My personal life is none of your business. Isn't it? Diana's gaze moves between us. When we're apparently investing in the same asset? Tell me, Evelyn, does she know about our weekend getaways? About the apartment I offered you? Eleanor's voice is sharp. What apartment? Not important. Diana's smile is cruel. I'm just curious, how many of us are there? Eleanor makes 3 that I know of, me, you, and the mysterious Thursday night client? That's enough. My voice is sharp. Diana, you're angry and you're being cruel. Stop. Angry? I'm not angry. I'm amused. But her eyes betray her. Though I am curious. If that's how you see me, I say quietly, then maybe we should end our arrangement. Diana's expression shifts, surprise, then pain. You don't mean that. Don't I? You just reduced everything between us to a transaction. Called me a commodity. If that's all I am to you, then I'm not interested in continuing. The terrace door opens again. Catherine, of course. She takes in the scene and sighs. This is a disaster, isn't it? Eleanor says bitterly. That's one word for it. Catherine looks at me. Are you all right? I'm managing a situation that never should have happened. My voice is tired. All of you in the same place, letting jealousy and possessiveness override discretion. Do you understand how dangerous this is? I know the risks, Catherine says. But I couldn't just, she looks at Eleanor and Diana. I assume you're both involved with Evelyn as well? Involved is a diplomatic word for it, Diana says. Eleanor's in love with her. I'm obsessed with her. And you, Catherine? Catherine's jaw tightens. My stake is my business. We all have stakes, Eleanor says quietly. That's the problem. Evelyn isn't just a companion anymore. Not to any of us. The silence that follows is heavy with truth. Finally, I speak. Then you all need to make a choice. Either accept that I'm not exclusive to anyone, that what I share with each of you is separate and real, but not singular, or end our arrangements. Because I will not be fought over like territory. I will not be reduced to a prize in your competition. Diana's expression shifts. Fair. It is fair, Catherine agrees. We knew the terms. Eleanor is quiet for a long moment. Then, I don't know if I can do this. Pretend it doesn't hurt. But I also don't want to lose what we have entirely. Then we figure out new boundaries, I say. New rules. But not here. Not tonight. They agree. We return to the ballroom separately. I resume my position serving drinks, my professional mask firmly in place. But everything has changed. The collision happened. Now I have to figure out if anything can be salvaged from the wreckage. The apartment Diana bought me is in the most exclusive part of the city. I never asked for it. She simply handed me the keys and said, "You need a space that's yours." It's Sunday afternoon, and I'm sitting on the balcony with coffee when the doorbell rings. Vanessa is standing in the hallway, her designer dress wrinkled, her makeup smudged like she's been crying. She looks destroyed. I debate not answering. But curiosity makes me buzz her in. When I open the door, she stares at me for a long moment. Then her face crumples completely. How, she whispers. How are you living like this? Hello to you too, Vanessa. This apartment, $3 million. You've been at that place for 3 months, and you're living better than I am. How? I step aside, letting her in. Come inside. Stop making a scene. She stumbles in, and I can smell alcohol on her breath. She's drunk. Would you like coffee? I ask. I don't want coffee. I want answers. She follows me, her heels clicking on the marble floors. I want to know how my Omega sister, the one who was supposed to suffer, is living in a $3 million apartment wearing diamonds like some kind of queen. The one who was supposed to suffer? I pour myself more coffee. So you admit it. You let them sell me. You could have stopped it, but you didn't. I couldn't, Marcus, my alpha husband, he would never have agreed to use his money to pay off our debts. It would have made me look bad. So you let them sell me to protect your marriage. To protect your image. I thought you'd be okay. I thought you'd suffer a little but survive. That eventually I could help you leave, and you'd be grateful. You wanted me to suffer just enough to make you look heroic when you eventually helped me. I laugh, but there's no humor in it. Except I didn't need rescuing. I saved myself. And that ruins your entire narrative, doesn't it? She collapses onto my sofa, sobbing into her hands. Nothing was supposed to be like this. I was supposed to be the successful one. The happy one. And you were supposed to be the cautionary tale. What happened, Vanessa? Why are you really here? She looks up at me, her face blotchy and ruined. Marcus is leaving me. He found someone else, someone whose family isn't shameful. So he found out about me? Everyone knows about you. And Marcus couldn't handle it. Said I'd made him look foolish. Now I'm getting divorced, and the prenup is ironclad, and I'm walking away with almost nothing. She looks around the apartment again. And you're in luxury I can't afford. Living the life that should have been mine. Should have been yours? I set down my coffee cup. Vanessa, you were never going to have this life. Because you don't have what it takes. What does that mean? It means I earned this. I chose to thrive instead of just survive. I built relationships with powerful alpha women who value me. I became a partner in a business. You wanted an alpha to give you status. I created my own. She stares at me like I've slapped her. You're defending it? You're defending being a prostitute? I'm a companion. A partner. A businesswoman. I shrug. I provide intimacy for compensation. But I do it on my terms, with clients I choose, in ways that fulfill me. So yes, I'm defending it. How can you not be ashamed? Because I'm not being used. I'm choosing. I have agency. I have power. I stand, walking to the window. I've conquered in 3 months what you've been chasing your whole life. The alphas I see, they're brilliant, successful, incredible. They give me gifts because they value me, not because they're buying me. You're delusional. Am I? I turn to face her. I enjoy it. The sex, the conversation, the connection, all of it. I'm choosing to engage in something I find fulfilling. She looks at me like I'm speaking a foreign language. That's not, you're supposed to be a victim. Why? Because you need me to be? Because your entire self-image depends on me suffering? I move closer. I'm not going to be your victim, Vanessa. I'm happy. And you're going to have to live with that. She cries quietly for a long moment. Finally, she speaks. What am I supposed to do now? You have exactly what I had 3 months ago. Nothing. The difference is, I figured out how to build something from nothing. You'll have to do the same. I can't do what you did. I'm not asking you to. I'm telling you to figure out your own path. I softened slightly. You're not stupid, Vanessa. You're just lazy. You wanted everything handed to you, and when it wasn't, you pushed me into the fire to save yourself. She stands, unsteady. So you won't help me? I didn't say that. I go to my desk and write out the name and address of a career counselor. This woman helps people rebuild after divorce. She's expensive but effective. I'll pay for 3 sessions. After that, you're on your own. She takes the paper, staring at it. Why would you help me at all? After everything I've done? Because you're my sister. And because I'm not cruel, even if you were. I walk to the door. But Vanessa, I will not rescue you. I will not let you become dependent on me. You get 3 sessions, and then you figure out your own life. She nods, clutching the paper. I'm sorry. For everything. Maybe it's a start. I open the door. Go home. Sober up. Call this counselor. Write your own story. She leaves without another word. I close the door, leaning against it. My phone buzzes. Multiple texts, Eleanor wants to talk. Diana is apologizing. Catherine needs to coordinate for the gallery show. Isabel's final painting is done. 4 powerful alpha women, each wanting my time. Each offering different things. Each needing me in different ways. And I realize something, this life isn't fair. But not in the way Vanessa meant. It's not fair that I found power in a situation meant to break me. It's not fair that I turned tragedy into triumph. But life isn't about fairness. It's about choices. And I choose this. That evening, Eleanor picks me up for dinner at her penthouse. She's cooked, nothing fancy, just pasta and wine, but the gesture is significant. I've been thinking, she says as we eat. About the gala. About my reaction. About what I said. She sets down her fork. I was raised to believe that love means ownership. But that's not love. That's possession. And you've taught me the difference. What we have is real, she continues. It doesn't become less real because you have other relationships. It just means I'm not the only person lucky enough to experience you. She reaches for my hand. I'm not going to lie and say I'm completely comfortable with it. But that's my problem to manage. I choose this. I choose you, even with the complications. I love you, Evelyn. I feel tears prick my eyes. You have no idea how much that means to me. She pulls me close. Now tell me what happened with your sister. I tell her everything. She listens, occasionally asking questions, helping me process. You were generous to help her at all, Eleanor says. Was I? Or was I just trying to prove I'm better than her? Does it matter? She brushes hair from my face. You're remarkable, you know that? We make love that night, and it's different from before, slower, more tender. Eleanor has accepted what we are. Afterward, lying in her arms, I feel a kind of peace. The gallery show is this Friday, I mention. Are you going? Isabel sent an invitation. I haven't decided. You should go. She's quiet for a moment, then, all right. I'll go. But I'm bringing you as my +1. Eleanor, that's brilliant? I know. She grins. If we attend together openly, it normalizes your presence in my circles. Makes you legitimate rather than secret. I laugh, delighted. You're terrible. I know. But you like it. She's not wrong. As I leave Eleanor's penthouse that night, I receive one more message from Madame Lisette. Scarlett has been making accusations. Claims you're stealing clients, manipulating situations. We need to meet tomorrow, The peace evaporates. Scarlett is coming for me. And I need to be ready. 2 days later, in Madame Lisette's office. I sit across from her as an equal, even though Scarlett is standing to the side, vibrating with righteous anger. She's been stealing my clients, Scarlett says. Eleanor Ashford used to see me exclusively. Diana Zhao had a standing arrangement with me. Scarlett. I keep my voice level. I'm a partner in this establishment now. We have the same station. You've been here 6 months. I've been here 5 years. Madame Lisette consults her notes. Scarlett claims you've been offering clients reduced rates, meeting them outside arrangements to avoid house fees, and using personal relationships to manipulate business decisions. All lies. I turn to Madame Lisette. You have access to all my records. Is any of what she's claiming reflected there? No, Madame Lisette admits. Your records are impeccable. Scarlett's face reddens. Then she's hiding it. What I'm doing, I interrupt, is succeeding where you failed. Eleanor didn't leave you for me because I stole her, she left because you treated her like a paycheck instead of a person. Diana didn't cancel your arrangement for mine because I manipulated her, she did it because you bored her. How dare you? I dare because it's true. I step closer. You've been here 5 years, Scarlett. Going through the motions, providing adequate service, collecting your fees. But you never built real connections. Never made your clients feel seen. That's why they left you. Not because of me, because of you. Madame Lisette speaks. I've reviewed both your client feedback and hers. Your ratings have been declining for over a year. Clients describe you as professional but cold. Attractive but unengaging. The words hit Scarlett like physical blows. I'm offering you a choice, Madame Lisette says. You can continue as a companion, with the understanding that you need to improve your client engagement. Or you can transition to a management role. I don't want to train others to replace me, Scarlett says bitterly. Then improve, I say. Learn from what's working. Stop treating this like a competition you're losing, and start treating it like a career you can grow in. She stares at me for a long moment. You really believe all that? Yes. Scarlett, you've survived here for 5 years. That takes strength. But surviving and thriving are different. I can teach you the difference, if you're willing to learn. She looks surprised. You'd help me? After I tried to sabotage you? I'd help you because having you as an ally is better than having you as an enemy. I offer my hand. You want to be my enemy, or my colleague? She considers, then shakes it. Colleague. For now. For now is enough. Gallery opening night. The gallery is transformed. 20 paintings of me. Me in silken shadow. Me laughing. Me powerful. Me vulnerable. Me in every iteration Isabel could imagine. Eleanor arrives first, wearing a stunning black gown. She takes my arm like it's the most natural thing in the world. People notice, but Eleanor's presence makes it legitimate. We view the paintings together. Eleanor stops at one in particular, me in conversation, my face animated with genuine joy. That's how she sees you, Eleanor says quietly. Not as an object. As a person. That's how you all see me. Each of you differently, but all of you really see me. Catherine arrives next. She views the exhibition with professional interest. When she reaches the painting of me backlit by sunset, she pauses for just a moment too long. Our eyes meet. She gives a tiny nod, acknowledgement, understanding, then moves on. Diana makes an entrance, wearing red. When she sees Eleanor standing with me, her expression flickers with jealousy before smoothing into amused acceptance. Eleanor. Evelyn. What a surprise. Diana. Eleanor's voice is cool. Enjoying the exhibition? It's extraordinary. Diana's eyes move to me. Though I notice Isabel has chosen to share that beauty with the world. Interesting choice. Before the tension escalates, Isabel appears radiant in a paint-splattered silk dress. Evelyn. She embraces me enthusiastically. And my muse's companions. How wonderful. These paintings are remarkable, Eleanor says genuinely. You've captured something essential. I've captured Evelyn, Isabel says. Or tried to. The evening progresses smoothly. Collectors make offers. Catherine purchases the sunset painting. Diana buys 3. Eleanor purchases the painting of me laughing. I want to remember this, she tells me quietly. How you look when you're genuinely happy. My throat tightens. Eleanor. Don't say anything. Just let me have this. After the gallery, there's a private reception at the Velvet Gardens' new club location. The official launch. The space is stunning. Madame Lisette gives a speech. Then she introduces me as her partner. 6 months ago, I arrived at the Velvet Garden uncertain of my future. Today, I stand before you as a partner in an establishment that's redefining what companionship, connection, and omega empowerment can look like. I scan the room, Eleanor, Diana, Catherine, Isabel, Jade, Scarlett. We've created a space where successful alpha women can be themselves without judgment. Where desire is celebrated, not shamed. Where connection is valued, not commodified. When I finish, the applause is genuine. Eleanor finds me afterward. You were magnificent up there. I had a good teacher. I lean into her. Thank you. For everything. Always. Diana approaches next. Quite the triumph, darling. I had help. From you, among others. Me? What did I teach you? That wanting things isn't shameful. That ambition is powerful. That sometimes the best way to win is to be unapologetically yourself. I touch her arm. Thank you, Diana. She looks surprised, then pleased. Catherine is more discreet, catching me alone. I'm proud of you. I'm announcing my Senate campaign next month. Our appointments will need to be less frequent. More strategic. I understand. But we don't end. We don't end. We adapt. Isabel is the last to approach. They loved the paintings. They loved you. I told you, you're my masterpiece. Your masterpiece is going to be hanging in private collections all over the city. Beautiful things, shared only with those who truly appreciate them. She kisses my cheek. Thank you for being my muse. The evening winds down. Eleanor has an early meeting. Diana has a flight to catch. Catherine needs to maintain appearances. Isabel is exhausted. I stand in the new club space, looking around at what we've built. Madame Lisette approaches with 2 glasses of champagne. To partnership. To partnership. We clink glasses. And to rewriting endings. You've certainly done that. The Omega who arrived here 6 months ago, terrified and desperate. Wasn't me. I smile. I took her story and made it mine. Transformed tragedy into triumph. As I leave that night, I think about the original story. The novel I was reading when I died and woke up here. In that story, Evelyn Chin dies within a year, broken, destroyed, a tragic footnote. That's not how this story ends. This story ends with Evelyn Chen as a business owner. A partner. An Omega with multiple alpha lovers who compete for her affection. A woman who turns survival into empire. My phone buzzes with messages. Asterisk Eleanor, already missing you. Coffee tomorrow, asterisk. Asterisk Diana, Paris next weekend. No arguments, asterisk. Asterisk Catherine, Thursday, same time. I need you, asterisk. Asterisk Isabel, started sketching a new series. You, of course, asterisk. For powerful alpha women, each wanting me in different ways, each genuinely caring about me. And one more message, surprising. Asterisk Vanessa, started the job counselor sessions. It's hard, but thank you for the chance, asterisk. I smile, typing back, asterisk keep going. You're stronger than you think, asterisk. Because that's the real ending. Not just that I survived and thrived, but that I extended that possibility to others. The car pulls up to my building. My building. My apartment, paid for by an alpha who values me. I step out into the night air, breathing in the scent of the city I've conquered. In the original novel, this moment was supposed to be a funeral scene. The tragic Omega dead, with only her sister attending to cry performative tears. Instead, I'm alive. Powerful. Happy. Surrounded by alphas who want me, value me, love me.